Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. I'm the Reverend Ruth Van Lillian. I'm honored to serve as your minister. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to our first time visitors, whether in person or online. We are delighted that you have found us. You are in the company of the curious, the questioning, the hopeful. We are a band of faith explorers, worthy and sacred in our lives and spirit. I will be in the pulpit again soon, and as your part-time contract minister, I am available remotely for your pastoral needs. The illness of the world has grown more acute in recent days, and we are all suffering with grief, fear, anger, and a sense of helplessness. This morning, I offer these comforting words from the Reverend Wayne B. Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. Take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone. May each of you find courage, comfort, and spiritual refreshment in our service today.
Thank you all for coming out on this dark and rainy morning. Claire Hallett was planning to be service leader this morning, but they have COVID in the
too complicated for a stone in the water. So very large church in our area. We have been given 70 new chairs, stackable and green, unfortunately, but dark green, that we will be picking up tomorrow. In preparation for that, we have 47 gray chairs, mostly in the choir room and in the library, in the boardroom there. If you would like any or all of those, please feel free to take them today. If we can't give them away, and if you know anyone who would like any of them, there's some more help in picking up the other chairs. We have had someone donate a in Niceville and load up 60 to 70 chairs in that truck, and then find some place over here to put them until the gray ones are out. So if I don't need a truck, but I certainly could use some young muscle and a sense of humor. So if any of you can help with that tomorrow morning, please let me know. It'll be 8:30. It won't take a long time, but I really could use some help. Thank you.
My announcement is just there are so on the very right-hand side is the RE book drive. On the left-hand side are some cardboard boxes and a bag filled with food items and other things that were donated, I think during the Halloween dinner here, to go to Niceville Sharing and Caring, and nobody has taken.
After the service, we have a brief time for refreshments and conversation, followed by our second hour small group discussions. Today we have Porch Swing here in the front to discuss today's topic, and we also have Extra Extra in the library led by Josh Ashley. Our second hour groups end at 12:15, and everyone is welcome. This is an intergenerational service today, so the children will be staying for the entire time. And now the prelude prepares us for the service. We rise with the force of love, an open-hearted love that celebrates our shared humanity. Out of the flames, we rise. Please stand in body or in spirit to join in singing hymn number 121. It's in your gray hymnal, or should be projected. We'll build a land.
Bread. And I thought I'd just stop and say hello. Coming out of your house. Can we come in and have some cookies? And of course, Miss Sophia said, sure, come on in. And all day, people in the town kept walking by her house, knocking on the door and saying, we smelled such wonderful smells, and we heard all these people laughing, so we figured you were having a party. Can we come? And so they came, and so everybody came, and her house was full. And then it got late in the afternoon, and people got hungry, and they said, oh, we better all have dinner. So they all went home and made something and came back for dinner, and they all had dinner together, and they played cards and games and ran around outside. Way after dark, they just played and played and played and had such a good time, and finally they all went home. And Sophia was so tired, and she forgot all about God. Yesterday, the bread was delicious. Tea mixed with lemonade is my very So, you think God would? Who do you think God was? Everyone, exactly everyone. So, bake cookies and have a party. Maybe God will show up. So now you guys stay here because I'm going to need some help.
That was a pretty cool story. I like that one. You're invited to briefly share personal events in your life by dropping a pebble into the bowl of water silently or while speaking a few words into the microphone. We support each other in sorrows and celebrate together in joy. A time of quiet. I welcome you to let go, sit together, breathe. It's a time of meditation or prayer. For the month of November, our Share the Plate partner is Healing Paws for Warriors, where support dogs are provided to veterans who have suffered trauma. Please be generous.
And so the blurb in the order of service says something about a service of gratitude. And so the blurb in the order of service says something about a service of gratitude. And that's not what this is. So I named it They connect and they can run. And the internet has so don't do that. Or if you have a special skill like building things or a special skill like cooking, right? If you have some kind of special skill, you can share it with others. If you have extra time, you can share it with other people. So maybe it's not just about you. What if a group that you're in or the country you live in has more than enough? If our country has more than enough food to feed our people, can we feed other people around the world? If our church group has more than enough money, which we usually don't, but to do something, or more than enough energy among us to do something, you know, could we do something in the community with this stuff that's extra? So that word Dayenu means it would have been enough. And because Jewish people, he knows, the question becomes, enough. Okay. Encourages us to always have more, or the latest model. When do we say enough? And when we do have enough and find that we have some extra, what do we do with it? Which leads to random thought number 3. What is this? Oh, yeah, commercials are bad about telling you you need stuff, aren't they?
Well, it was basically about somebody at a restaurant.
Yeah. Okay, so several weeks ago, so this is actually where I started, and then I backed up. I was in a Zoom session. I go to a regular Zoom session on Saturday mornings. That's a discussion from the Tai Chi group I belong to. And I'm not going to go into all the philosophical stuff, but one of the leaders was talking about people doing admin work as part of their spiritual practice. And he said, accounting is boring. And I said, I was an accountant for years and years and years, and I never thought it was boring. You know, it was kind of fun, and it was like puzzles. And by the way, I didn't do taxes, no taxes. I worked for the Alabama Department of Education. But I never thought of accounting about the way that, because one of the first job was to help with making the budget for the year. Idea. But what it is, instead of just like thinking about your total money, the first thing that you think about is what you want to achieve, like your programs. Like in education, we had a lot of different programs, and then you divide up your resources, your people, so that you can look at the end of the year within that program and see how much special education cost you, how much physical education costs you, instead of having to go and pick the amounts out. So it's called program budgeting, and then I thought, well, I still do that. See, once you're like an accountant, then you become like obsessive. So even after I retired, I do accounts at home. I do all of that. Not as detailed as I did at work, but I kind of do that in my budget every year, because there's certain things I have to have. You know, my house. I have to have my air conditioning and my heating and food, but just enough food, not like most of what I have extra. Some things I have not the expertise to do what I would like to do, but it's just not there. So it's like all these things I want to do. There's a lot of causes. I get, and everybody I know has like their own personal cause they get so excited about, and they're like, here, you should give to this. And I get in the mail every day. How many people get in the mail every day? Somebody wanting some money for something. And a lot of them I've never heard of, organizations. So I thought, what if there's a situation somewhere else in the world and I'm not going to know the organization's working there? Which leads to random thought number 4, which is actually the point of the service today. See, it took me a while to get there. Is there an organization that takes money and expertise and pools them together and supports organizations already doing the work that we all want to do all over the world? And yes, there is such an organization. So you've been waiting for this, right? This is the big reveal. The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. So how many of you have heard of this? Yeah, see, I do this every year, and usually I just go through the whole history of the organization. So we're going to do it really quickly. It was started during the Second World War when went into Europe with some funding to get Jewish people, but also other people who were being persecuted by the Nazis out of Europe. Passports and getting them papers and giving them money and getting them out. That was the service they provided. But over the years it's grown, and the way the organization operates is they look at all these things that you would and I would look at, you know, things, places where people need help, and then they look for an organization that's already there working but might just need some help. Like a little more money, somebody to come in and help them get organized. You know, that would help, right? So, so when something happens, when Russia invaded Ukraine, and I thought, I should be doing something to help the Ukrainian people, you know, but heaven knows, what can I do? You know, I can't go and like beat the Russians back, or you know, I don't know where to send money. So I went to the UUSC webpage, and they had already been in contact and working with other, getting refugees out and helping getting them resettled, and, you know, meeting them at the border and getting them food, and said, this is great. And they say, we have a fund, you can send us money, UUSC, goes in the Ukraine Relief Fund, or here are the organizations that you can send, that we're working with, and you can send funding directly to them or support. So that's the reason I really, really, really like this organization. You can read about more of their work on their website. If you were interested in the history, there was it on PBS? Documentary called The Sharps War. Waitzel and Martha Sharp were the Unitarian couple that did all this work back in the Second World War, and it's their stories. It's a really, really good film. You could watch that. Every year, the UUSC has a fundraiser, and it's usually somehow linked to the children helping with it. I don't know how that got started. But it's called Guest at Your Table. Okay, so you see what happened? Now we're back at that table that we just made bigger.
and you keep the little box. I meant to have one with me. With you. You put it in your house, you put it on your table, put it beside the door, and all through, has a little slot in the top, all through the month of December, you drop coins in or you drop money in, anything that you have that's extra. And then on January the 5th, or before that if you want to bring it back in, we'll collect all the money and we'll send it to the UUSC. And also, during December, our Share the Plate charity will be the UUSC. So those monies that are collected beyond pledges will be split with UUSC. So eggs to tables, because and they're folded up, but they're easy to open up. And anybody who wants to take one home and put it on your table. So this, according to their history, came from some Unitarian person went to Holland at some point, I don't remember the years, and saw that this kind of thing with a little box was used as a fundraising thing. But I'm going to tell you that it's a lot older than that. That there is a Jewish tradition called a tzedakah box, which tzedakah means charity, and that would, and anytime there was something that you were thankful for. So now I'm going to ask Lorelei to take these little boxes, and she's going to walk around, and anybody who wants to take a box home and collect money in it, you're welcome to do that. You can help too, if you want. So UUSC also takes checks if you don't deal in cash anymore, which some of us don't. You can write a check to the UUSC and put it in the box and bring it back. And there's a little table set up in the back of the room, box back in before that if you want. Okay? So just remember, when you have more,
We usually do really well with that collection. So as we have more Sundays with more people here, we'll keep spreading the word and sharing those boxes. Please stand as you're able for our final hymn. This is My Song, number 159 in the Gray Hymnal. May we recognize the divine when it appears on our thresholds and gladly offer a place at our tables. May we look to join with all justice seekers, offering welcome, hospitality, and solidarity. Liberation is not the freedom of a few, but the joyful realization of possibility for all. Please stay seated for the postlude. Thank you to everyone helping with the service this morning. Please join us for coffee and conversation in the back. If you had a little extra time or muscle, think of the requests for help needed in the next coming days. Thank you for coming.